this is Gina. Today I'm going to show you how to make what I'm calling a tiny wreath bracelet. Now these are just circles, so it could just be a circle bracelet too, but the way I've done it, the colors I've done it, and the way I embellished it, I tried to make it a little bit more holiday type, make it look more like a wreath, embellishing the units in between so it looks kind of like a bow on top of the wreath. I'll get you close. And you can use, of course, any color scheming you would like. This is what this looks like off the wrist. I think it turned out really cute. And then I also did just a couple of units. I just hooked them together, but a couple of units so you could see what it looks like if you selected like a lighter bead or just a different coloring scheme. I think this is very pretty too. This is a imitation jade, half pearlized or half magma, something like that. So this turned out really pretty. You can see the back. You can see the back here. It's very pretty. If you do less embellishing with the seed beads, which you can do, you'll get more color through. So it's up to you how you want to do it. This is just the way that it is attached in between. You can see more green when it's on the wrist because, of course, it bends like that. So anyway, that's what we're going to make today, and let's go ahead and see what it takes to make this particular project. Okay, for this project today, we are going to use several seed beads. So we're going to use 15 O's in two colors. I have antique bronze and I have permanent finish, galvanized permanent finish starlight, and of course these are all Tohos. And then I have an 8O in antique bronze. And then I just have a few 11Os for my clasping area, and that's also antique bronze. Then I'm going to be using two 4mm rounds. This one is an opaque rainbow green crystal, and this one is a 4mm round. Let's see if I can get this right. Non-magnetic synthetic hematite beads. So basically it's a glass bead that looks like it's a metal bead. That's what it is. And all these are available on my website if you would like some. I'm also going to be using a toggle clasp. So I'm going to use this little gold toggle clasp. You can use any clasping that you would like for this project. And then I'm going to use 6-pound Fireline. I'm going to put onto my size 12 beading needle about 4.5 to 5 feet of thread. You will need to extend, but putting more than that on your needle makes it difficult to sew through your project without tangles. So I recommend 4 to 5 feet. If you do not know how to extend your Fireline, I will put a video in the description box beneath the video player, a link for a video, and you can watch how to do that. So let's go ahead and thread our needles and get started. Okay, to start this project, you are going to put onto your needle and then move down onto your thread 4 4mm round crystals with 5 15 O's in between. So you'll have 4 sets of each. Start with a 4mm round and end with a set of 5 15 O's. Then, of course, you can use pearls or whatever you want for this too, as long as it's 4mm round. But I'm starting with my crystals, and I'm going to bring this down to the end of my thread. I'm not going to leave a long tail, but I'm going to leave enough to hold on to and tie a knot. Let me back off a little bit here. I'm going to go back through the first crystal I put on my tail side, and I'm going to go back through from the tail side. Hold on to the tail, hold on to that first bead, and just pull my thread through until I create a circle like this. Now I'm going to sew back through all of these beads so that I can secure this circle. So I'm going to sew through all the 15 O's. Make sure you don't miss any. Hold on to your beads and pull your thread through. And continue all the way around. It's going to spread out a little. You don't want to pull on it too tight because at this point you'll just pull your tail right through. So just do it gently all the way around. And one more set here. I'm just going to go through the 15 O's, and then my working thread and my tail will be right next to each other. I can pull on my tail, pull on my working thread, tighten my beads. Now you don't want to bunch them, just make sure there's no slack, and then take the tail or the working thread, cross it over the tail thread, and then put the tail thread through that resulting loop twice. And then just pull a little knot down between the beads, just like this. Now we're going to sew away from this knot, so we're going to go up through these 15 seed beads again. And then we're going to go into the crystal right here. And don't get 15 O's on either side, just the crystal like this. Okay, once you've done that, we're going to go ahead and put our clasping on this end so we don't have to come back and do it. So we are going to use our 11 O's for our clasping. So we'll pick up 2 11 O's and then pick up one of your 4mm rounds. I'm going to use the gold one, and I'm going to drop it down. Then I'm going to pick up my clasp and go through the loop. And then I'm going to go back down into just the 4mm round right here. I'm going to pick it up, hold on to it, and I'm going to pull the clasp down to it so that there's no slack, like this. And then I'm going to go ahead and pick up 2 more 11 seed beads and go back through the opposite side of the crystal I'm attaching to. And just the crystal. Don't get any of the beads on either side. Now, what you should have is something that looks like this. Now we're going to sew back through this twice. I'm going to show you once how to do that, and then we'll do the second time off camera. This will secure everything. So I'm coming out of this crystal here. I'm going to go up through these 2 11 O's, and then I'm going to go up through the 4mm round and through my clasp like this. Then I'm going to go back down into the 4mm round, excuse me, and into the 2 11 O's on the opposite side from which I started. And then I'm going to go back through the crystal. Do that one more time and we'll be back. Okay, now I have secured my clasping by going through one more time. I'm coming out of the crystal right here. I'm going to cut down this tail just to get it out of my way. And now we're going to pick up our other 4mm round. So for me, it's the gold ones. So I'm going to pick up a 4mm round here, and I'm just going to go into the next crystal, ignoring the 15 seed beads. So I'm going to go directly into this crystal. Now, when you hold on to this, kind of push the crystal up so that you can get through without getting any 15 O's. And then just pull your thread through, push the 4mm round towards the inside of your piece, then hold on to this crystal here and pull straight on your thread so that you can cinch these 2 crystals around this 4mm round bead here. Then we're going to pick up another 4mm round, and I'll get in just a little bit closer for a minute, and we are going to pick up another of our other 4mm rounds, and I'm going to kind of push this crystal up, go through the top of it so that I can avoid those 15 O's, and pull this down, push it in, and tighten it. Now they will kind of go up a little bit, and that's okay. You want them to be slightly raised. Your 15 O's should go down, and your crystals and your 4mm rounds that you're putting in should kind of be above them a little bit, like this. Now we're going to pick up the next one and go into the next crystal. So we're going to do this with 4 beads. Push it towards the inside, pull it down, and then pick up one more and go through the bead that we put our clasping on. push it towards the middle, and then just tighten. Make sure there's no slack. You don't want to pull it so tight that they're doing weird things. Just nice and neat. They're all laying pretty like this. Then you're going to go into the 4mm round, the first one you put on in your second round of beads right here. Then you're going to pick up two 15-0 seed beads. I'm going to use my bronze color, and I'm going to go from gold bead to gold bead. So your second layer of beads, you're going to go through and put two 15-0 seed beads in between. So I'm going to bring this in, bring it down, and just kind of arrange it nicely in between so that there's no slack. Tug on a little bit. As you tug, make sure you're pulling straight through your beads and not to the side, because if you pull on the side of the bead, you're going to break your thread. Now, pick up two more of your 15-0s and go directly into the next round bead. So we're just going from round bead in the second row to round bead in the second row of beads we put on. And we're going to go all the way around doing this. And make sure that you don't have any slack in there, because if you do, it's going to look really weird. So you may have to pull on it a couple of times, arrange it a little bit until they're in there pretty nicely. And then pick up two more and go into the next one. Now, if you have them pulled all together nice and tight, it should cinch your beads in even a little bit more and make it kind of domed like this. Now we're going to do three 15-0 seed beads from gold bead to gold bead. So pick up three. You can pick up another color if you'd like. I'm just going to stay with my bronze, I believe. And I'm going to go into the next gold bead with my 3 seed beads, pull it down, and arrange it nice on top, and continue all the way around. What's nice about having the clasp on is you have something to hold on to. Makes it a little easier. Oops, that's only 2. I need 3. Okay, I'm going to go into my last one. And here I'm going to give a nice tug, make sure all of them are nice and tight, look good. And then we are going to go from this gold bead into this green bead here, the outside one. And you can go through a couple of the 15-0s if you want to, because we're going to travel all the way down to the bottom crystal. So I only got one. And then I'm going to go through the rest of these 15-0s here, and then just into this crystal and exit just the crystal. So you want to be directly opposite of the bead you're clasping on. You want to exit that bead right there and pull this through. And turn this back over. Make sure everything looks good. And that's what we have so far. That's our first little wreath. Now we're going to make a unit that will be a connector between little wreaths. So we're going to pick up an 8-0 seed bead. I'm using my bronze again. And then we're going to pick up one of the crystals that you used in your base. So I'm going to pick up my green, and then I'm going to pick up an 8-0. And I'm going to go into the opposite side of the crystal I'm coming out of, and I'm going to pull this down just like this. And then I am going to sew back through all of them just to make sure that everything is nice and secure, tight, pretty, all those things. Plus, because it's a connector, it has to have this extra bit because it moves and it can break. So now I am coming out of this bead here. I am going to get some of my gold 15 O's, and I'm going to pick up 2 gold 15 O's, and I think I am going to use an 11 O, so I'm going to use my bronze 11 O and 2 gold 15 O's, and I'm going to go from this side. I'm coming out of this green bead on this side. I'm going to go into the opposite bead on the opposite side like this and pull these down. And see if that's too many beads. No, that's okay. Now we're going to pick up 2 gold beads, go through the 11O bronze here in the middle of this little thing we just made. Let me get you in even closer, just like this. And I'm going to just kind of hold on to all of that, pull this down, and tighten it. And then I'm going to pick up 2 more of my gold 15 O's, and I'm going to come into this side of this crystal right here. So the crystal we started attaching to, the one in our previous unit, we're going to go through it, just like this. Now we have a little like cross or bow or X, whatever you want to call it, on top of that unit. We're going to go into this 8O that connects the 2 crystals together right here and pull our thread through, and then we're going to go into this 8O here. Not 8O, I'm sorry, 4mm round. I don't know why those are 8Os to me today, but I don't know. It's hard to say. So now what we have to do is we have to pick up the beads to start another unit. So what we are going to do is we are going to pick up 5 15O seed beads 3 times. No, actually 4 times. So let's pick up 5 15O seed beads, and we'll pick up 3 4mm rounds. So we've got 5 15Os, a 4mm round, and then 5 15Os, and a 4mm round like this. And then one more time, pick up 5 15Os, and a 4mm round, and then I'll need one more set of 5 15Os. So what you will have on your needle will be 4 sets of 5. I have way more than 5 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Oh yeah, that's not gonna work. So we're gonna do this, and then I'm going to pick up 5 more, and I'll show you what you should have, since I seem to just kind of be bumbling my way through this, whatever that means. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we are sharing this bead here, so we only need 3 of our 4mm rounds, but we need 4 sets of 5. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 6 on there. I'm going to break one out. Hopefully I don't break my thread, but I'm just going to break one of these off. Make sure you have 5 15Os in between, and then go back into the opposite side of the crystal here and pull this down into a circle. Now we're going to sew back through all of our beads. So we're going to start here and start working down the 15Os. Go all the way down and all the way around. Make sure you don't miss any of those 15Os. It's easy to slide past one, and you don't want to do that. Up through the last ones here, and then through the crystal, avoiding the 15Os on the other side of the crystal. Now straighten it out to where your beads aren't bunched, but make sure you have no slack in between them, just like this. And then again, we're going to pick up our next color of 4mm rounds, and we're going to go into the next 4mm round on the base. Pull this down. And don't get as brutal as I just did, because you'll just mess everything up. Just pull it in there nice. Don't go crazy. Okay, pick up the next one and go into the next one. Come on. And there you go. All right, quit it. There we go. They're being defiant today. Me and my beads, we got this relationship, you see. Okay. And we're going to go into here. Come on, beady. If you push the crystal up, you should be able to get around those 15 O's pretty well. But this one seems to want to be kind of a pain in my rear end. There we go. Oh, come along, little thing. Every now and then, you get the simplest task that just wants to be not the simplest task. And that seems to happen a lot with me. I'll push this down, push it in, push it down. And make sure it's in there nice and securely. And then pick up another one. And go into this bead here. And then I'll arrange everything so it looks pretty. And then I'm going to go up into this bead right here. And I'm going to start putting on my top embellishment with my seed beads. So I am going to pick up 2 15 O's and go into the next gold bead. And you could do this with gold and silver. That would be really pretty too. You could do red, you could do whatever you want, but this I'm keeping. If I had a little bit brighter green, I think my seed beads might show up a little bit better, but I kind of like it being a little bit darker. So of course you can play with any color scheming you'd like. That's the beauty of making your own pieces. And then we're going to go into this one again. Pull them all, make sure they look beautiful, just like that. And then we are going to go ahead and put our second set on. So we're coming out of this gold one here, and we're going to pick up 3 15 seed beads this time. Get that 11 out of there, because you know I'll pick it up, and then I'll have this big old blob thing looking. English is not working for me today. Okay. Twist, twist, untwist, twist, twist. Bring that down, just like that. And then pick up 3 more. And go into the next one. This is so simple, but it turns out so cute. And we can do this for earrings. Could probably even adapt it into a necklace, but I'm not making any promises because I'm barely keeping up. So, you know, let's back that out because I only have 2 seed beads there. So I'm going to back this out. Perhaps. Okay, come on, you. Okay, I'm going to pull this out. I've left that in so you can see how to back out. I'm sure you can pretty much figure that out, but you know, some people ask me how I correct my mistakes, and that's how I do it. So now I picked up another 15 I'm going to go into this one here and draw those down, straighten everything out the way I want it to look, and then I will go down into the green bead right underneath my gold one here. So the bead in the base, and then come up through a couple of these 15 O's if I can. So I've come up through 3 of them. I've turned my piece over simply because I can see the 15 O's better. And then I can go into the next 2 15 O's and up through the crystal, and just the crystal, ignoring the 15 O's on the other side. We'll make one more connection in the middle here, and then you can just back up the video if you need to until you get the pattern down, and it will be repetitive from this point on. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick up an 8/0 and then one of your base 4mm rounds, and then an 8/0. Back off just a little here, and I'm going to drop these down. Come on, drop it down. And then I'm going to go into the other side of the crystal from which I'm coming out. Oh, come on, you. My hands are a little shaky today, and I just don't really know why, but they are. Let's bring this down. And then let's sew around it again. And then into here. So I've just sewn all the way around. I'm coming out of this bead now. And now I am going to use some of my gold 15 O's, and I am going to pick up 2 and a bronze 11/0 and 2 15 O's. I'm coming out of this crystal here. I am going to go into the opposite crystal on the opposite side. So in a diagonal this way. Then I'm going to pick up 2 more 15/0 seed beads in my gold color. I'm going to go up through this little 11/0 in the middle here. And things can loosen up, but you'll tighten them as you pull this through. So go through, go through the bead, pull this up, and then you can give it a little tug and arrange your beads if they spread out. Pick up 2 more 15/0s. Go into the opposite side of the crystal we started in, right here. Just like this. Pull this all down, tighten it up, straighten it up, make it look nice. And then go down into the next 8/0. So you're coming out of the crystal, go into the 8/0 on the side here, and then go into this crystal and begin your next wreath exactly how you begun this one. So you can just back up the video, watch again, and do your next unit with the video of this unit. And you can repeat that until you have the required amount of length. So continue doing this until you have 9 units with, of course, the extension in between. Or just go to the length that is a 1/2 inch short of the length that you want to end up with. So right now I am measuring from the center of my toggle to the end of my unit, my extension unit. I am measuring 7 inches, and I want it to be 7.5. So this is perfect for me. And of course, I did end on an extension, not on a unit. We did put our clasp on this side directly to the first unit. However, we want to narrow this down because these are wide and I'm using a toggle. If it's too wide on your straight end of the toggle end, then it's hard to pass through the circular end of the toggle. So I've narrowed it down by making my extension unit to attach to. So I'm coming out of this little crystal after making my last unit and then making the extension that I made between each unit with the 8/0s and the 2 green crystals. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add my clasping onto this crystal here. So I'm going to pick up 2 11/0 seed beads and my 4mm round gold to match the other side. Get you in closer here. I'm going to drop this down to my piece. And then I'm going to go through the loop on the clasp. And then I'm going to go through just the 4mm round bead like this. I'm going to hold on to it, pull this down, and then I am going to pick up 2 11-0 seed beads. And I'm going to go through the crystal. Now, sew back through this twice, and once you've done that, just go up through your entire clasping twice. Once you've done that, we will come back and tie off and be finished with the project. Okay, I have secured my clasping by sewing back through the entire attachment twice, and now I'm coming out of this green bead right here that I've attached to. I'm going to turn this over just because it's easier to see what I need to do, and you can see the bottom of this is pretty too. If you wanted to make this without putting all the seed beads on it, it would look brighter like this, so you can do that too, or you can just do the first round of seed beads. You can modify this several ways to make it look however you would like it to look. So now I'm coming out of this crystal right here. I'm going to sew down into the 8-0 seed bead here. And then I'm going to sew into this crystal here and try to just get through the crystal itself without getting any seed beads here. And then right here, right between this 8-0 seed bead and the 4mm round bead, there is a thread bridge right here. I'm going to go under that thread bridge with my needle, if I can here. So I'm just going right under that thread bridge. And then I'm going to go through the loop that I make by pulling that down into a loop, and then just pull a knot down on that thread bridge. Then I'm going to go up through this 8-0, back up through the top crystal here, back down into this 8-0, and I'm going to tie another knot right here between the 8-0 and the 4mm round. See if I can get between there. Right there. And make a loop with my thread, go through the loop, pull a knot down. And then I'm going to go into this crystal. Then I'm going to sew into these 5, or actually, I can just hop up. No, I can't. I have to stay with my thread path. So I'm going to go into these 5 little beads if I can. If not, I'll just cut my thread off here. But I'd like to get away from my knot if I can. So I'm going through these 4 here. Then I'll pick up the 5th one here. Maybe. I have everything pulled really tight at this point, so come on. There we go. And then I'm just going to exit this crystal here. And I'm going to cut my thread. Maybe not quite that long. Oh, come on. I try to get scissors all the time that work, and they work for about a week, and then they don't work anymore. Okay, so I've got this little tag here. I'm just going to get my heat close, roll it in, and back this off here. And this turns out really cute. Look at that. Let's see if I can put this on, see if it fits and all that good stuff. So, let me get my toggle. Oh, come here. You know, the more I try to hurry to do something, the less I can do it. Because that's just the way that things have to work. Because I don't know why. Just to drive me crazy. Come on, go through there. Go through there. Ah! Alright, I may have to turn this camera off and actually be able to do this because it just keeps slipping off my wrist. I know it'll work. I know it. There we go. I got it. Okay. So, here is my clasping. And this is what this looks like on the wrist. I think it turned out really, really cute. I'll back off a little bit so you can see the entire thing. And then I'll give you a close shot. So you can see it close up. Turned out really cute. You could do this in so many different colors, and it's so cute. And it doesn't necessarily have to be little wreaths. It can just be round, just round. It doesn't, and the way you embellish it, if you change, maybe instead of putting seed beads here, you put like a 15-0 and a little crystal and a 15-0, that would make it different. You can embellish this differently. It's very basic. It'll work regardless of how you embellish it, and you can make it your own any way you would like. And they would make really cute gifts. They're perfect for the holiday season, I think, and I think it's a fun project to do. So if you enjoyed this project, would you please consider subscribing and clicking the notification bell and perhaps giving me a little like, and that really helps my channel. I'd really appreciate it, and we can continue making little pretty pieces of stuff together. Okay then. Bye-bye.